In the heart of the kingdom, where rolling green hills met endless skies, there lived a heroic knight known as St. George. His valiant deeds were spoken of far and wide, filling the kingdom's people with pride and hope. Peace reigned over the land until one fateful day when news of terror spread through the kingdom like wildfire. A giant dragon, born from the darkest swamps where no sunlight dared to reach, had risen to claim the fertile fields that sustained the kingdom. Its scales were as black as midnight, and flames spewed from its nostrils, creating an atmosphere of fear that hung thick in the air. The dragon's dominance over water sources threatened the livelihood of the farmers and villagers, and its terrifying roars were heard echoing in every corner of the kingdom, shattering the hearts of all who heard it. St. George, driven by courage and a sense of duty, knew he had to confront the beast. He remembered tales from the elders, myths about the dragon's weaknesses. Preparations for battle began. He polished his gleaming armor, sharpened his sword until it shone like a beacon, and mounted his trusty steed, a powerful horse named Valor. Before setting off, St. George consulted the wise old sage of the village, who advised him to seek the mystical weapon of ancient legends, an enchanted lance that could pierce even the toughest scales. With renewed determination, St. George embarked on a quest to find the fabled lance, hidden deep within the enchanted forest. Days passed, and St. George journeyed through treacherous terrain, facing trials that tested his courage and strength. He encountered magical creatures, each holding pieces of the puzzle that led to the lance. With intelligence and bravery, he solved riddles and navigated complex paths, keeping faith in his destiny. Finally, at the heart of the mystical forest stood an altar bearing the enchanted lance, aglow with ethereal energy. St. George, overwhelmed by its divine aura, grasped the weapon and felt its power surge through him. Armed and ready, he rode towards the dragon's lair, where darkness loomed like a threat over the kingdom's lands. As he approached the beast, his heart pounded with fervor and focus. The dragon arose, furious and ready to incinerate its challenger with an inferno of flames. But St. George, undeterred, charged forward with valor at his side. A fierce battle ensued, echoing through the landscape, the dragon's fiery breath against St. George's poised lance. With strategic strikes aimed at the sources of the dragon's might, St. George slowly weakened the beast. He targeted the heart-scaled fortress the dragon wore to protect its most vulnerable parts. As the dragon faltered, St. George saw his chance and drove the enchanted lance directly into its heart. The dragon let out a final rage-filled roar, then slumped to the ground, subdued and defeated. A wave of relief and victory washed over the kingdom as St. George returned, triumphant. The fields and waters were restored, and the land flourished once more. The people cheered for their hero, and St. George became a symbol of hope and resilience. Though danger had been defeated, tales of bravery and the magical lance lived on, ensuring the kingdom would always remember the courage it took to battle even the fiercest dragon.